What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another student interview. We haven't done one of these for a long time for a reason. We wanted to work with a very small group of guys in this business and the skills that we're teaching them before we ever try to onboard new members or try to make this some large scale thing. We want to keep it tight and exclusive. But today I'm very excited to be here with my man, Max. And he's going to just tell us about his experience. One, not really like we're not selling IPO to you guys, but as someone that is in the info model, and like we just touched on before this, you're kind of transitioning out, which we are as well. I think it'd be a very interesting conversation with people. So just to start off, give us a before and after. Like, where were you before joining the program, and then where are you now? Like, what does that gap look like?
Yeah, I was a sales rep for like a couple of years before, and I had managed a team like 2 years ago, and then switched offers and worked with like a big e-com guy, a big dating guy, and I was trying to get into more management again for bigger teams because the team I had managed before wasn't huge in comparison. And then they had like no systems on one of the offers that I was managing, and I just kind of saw that as a bit of an opportunity to like I knew how to set up close, and like I knew they needed Calendly, but like that was about it. I didn't know how to do much else. I pitched super high, went for like 16K build out. They said no, worked down to like 3,500. But I still didn't know how to build like half the stuff I told them that I was going to. So you had opened up more slots for IPO, and I thought about it for the beta launch, but I was closing 2 offers. Didn't make sense, I don't think, at the time. But I was like, fuck it, like I got to learn how to fulfill, and I want to have more than one client. So I joined IPO. That was in like June or July, and learned a ton of stuff right away. I wasn't really focused on getting a ton of clients because I knew the client I had when I joined was like could have made me good money. But then just kind of built up the skills of working with like you and Luke and the rest of the coaches. And now I've got 7 clients under management that are all info. March or February we did 38 in profit. It's just over 60 in rev. Payout sales reps wise a big discrepancy, but pretty sick. I was doing like 6-7K a month as a closer. When I joined, I dropped one of the offers when I bought IPO that I like didn't really have the money for at the time. So I was like big leap of faith. But now, I mean, it's turned out great. And like you kind of touched on earlier, not moving out of info, but I definitely want to move into more kind of B2B, helping enterprise companies. I've worked with a couple of them, but if I can have a couple big B2B clients rather than trying to manage 7 different accounts in info. But anyway, that's kind of what it's looked like.
That's sick. That's super sick. So like to do a concrete number, you were making like under 10K a month.
Yeah, I had done 10K months, but like at the time it was like, it's like 6K a month or 7K a month.
What's been your biggest month with IPO?
It was last month, 38.
38. Let's call it 40. We'll give it a round number.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, that's what is that? Like a 6X on your income?
Yeah.
Which is sick. And that's monthly, right? That's not yearly. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about one. I always like start these off with that just for people watching to be like, oh, these guys know what they're talking about. They actually make money. What has been your like biggest service offering, I guess, to these businesses? Like what have you found your bread and butter to be?
Yeah, it's evolved over time. Like at the start, I just did sales management and like basic CRM, basic systems, or just kind of like designing processes for them because they had like super inefficient process. But over time, like I've worked with Luke Ward a lot, and I kind of have immersed myself in what he does more like
very smart guy.
Ops, data, finance, that kind of stuff, but still having the sales background. So I'm not like a full service guy or agency or anything by any means, but it's definitely helpful to be able to know like how every part of the business works together and how you can kind of integrate and systematize everything for them. So it's hard to like pinpoint one thing, but just like systems in general now has become like what I've really enjoyed doing. But it helps to be able to like have the sales rep background and the management background to also be able to say like, okay, we're making all these changes on the front end. Like sales team needs to be in line with that. Even shit like client success and like delivery and knowing how to, keep everything streamlined is it's been fun to learn. So
it's much more advanced than just sales management or whatever, right? Like you're kind of becoming like a bit of a Swiss Army knife, but not in a bad way, in a way where you're able to be competent at all these different things. Because they do like, has that been a big jump from you, is like learning how all these different things intersect, and if like one doesn't work, it messes up everything else and so forth?
Yeah, because like at the start when I just focused on like sales and sales systems and whatever, that's all fun. And like, you get your little build out fee and whatever, but eventually like you'll start to stagnate. If they don't have good lead flow, for example, like you being good on closing calls doesn't really do much to change that, you know, or you having a super automated process where like everything's super clean and lean. Like that's great, but it doesn't make the business more money necessarily, you know? So being able to kind of see like big picture, which levers you can pull to give the most leverage is definitely, it's helpful to be a master in one thing, but I think it's good to just kind of know at least generally how it all works together. And you have just a bit more context to make better decisions.
Agreed. You have to, dude. Like, and that's, I want to touch on this for everybody watching. Like, we're watching cycles and info. I just did a podcast with a guy. We were talking about this. Is like the cycles are really funny, and info I think moves at probably like a 4 or 5 times faster pace than like the overall macro of like online 100%. Business. Like it changes like that. Like right now, the meta marketing wise is literally just materialism. Like that is what is working best for people. Like TJR, Brez, who else? Like the Onuha guys before they went to jail, they were very materialistic marketing. Like, and I've noticed this with our stuff. Like I'm posting really valuable videos and they're getting less views than ever. And they're probably the most valuable videos we've ever posted. Yeah. So for you guys, and I spin off of that, like what kind of, you don't got to say your clients obviously, but what kind of info clients are you working with? And have you found like maybe some don't work as well as they used to? Like what is that kind of meta for you guys?
Yeah. I've worked with like, not everything, but I haven't been super focused. Like I've had e-com, I've had a few different make money online offers, but like a few dating, a few in like fitness. I have a breathwork client that like sells a certification program for $4,500. I've got some weird clients. I worked with like healthcare companies, so all over the board. But like especially with like make money online offers, because I feel like that's what people gravitate towards to the most. Like when they think info, they're like, oh, the guy that sells a trading course. But it's like there's so much more money outside of that. And a lot of times, like they have really strong brands. You don't have like scam objections when someone's selling you like how to fix your marriage, you know. So there's definitely money to be made in both. But we've been pretty scattered. I like dating as an offer though. I've got 3 clients in dating.
I think that'll perpetually and probably ever increasingly become a problem.
It'll always be there too. It's not like a quick fad. Like that's something that will be around forever.
Yeah. That's crazy. What are you, so as far as deal structure, like, and again, guys, I want to preface like this whole IPO thing is just a name. Like you have to have a name for what you call things, but essentially all it is scaling, you're scaling online companies. It doesn't have to be info, but like for example, like what were like 3 of the biggest things you learned from IPO as far as like hard skills? Because I think people like hear this and they see maybe like our VSL in the marketing and they're like, oh, this is just like, it's like all that other stuff. Because you got to call it something, but like you said, we're trying to make it more holistic, like a education on business as a whole.
Yeah. You need to look at it as just like understanding, as you said, business as a whole. It doesn't even just apply to info. Like as I said, I want to make the transition more to like helping enterprise teams and B2B companies. All the things that we learn in IPO, they're all consistent. Like every business needs sales, every business needs marketing. They all need operations and finance and all this different shit. So in terms of what I've learned, a lot of just like ops and data and finance and like how everything again works together. It's not just I'm the sales guy. You can be, but especially like with talking to Luke and working with him, that's just multiple light bulb moments. I still have them. That's probably been the biggest thing. And again, the thing I enjoy the most, but IPO is like, I don't even use the label for it. Like it's, I use RevOps now, which I think is more fitting for what I do. Cause it's not just like, you're not bucketing yourselves with, oh, I'm a growth operator or I'm an IPO.
Yeah. That's, we might have to rebrand, bro, because it's not the same.
It's fine. I had a couple clients that, or like people I were messaging were like, oh, you're just I had IPO in my bio, you know, which maybe this is terrible for this interview, but like you need to give yourself some kind of USP and not like bucket yourself.
No, you do. I totally agree. And that's why I wanted to bring that question up, was because I think people watching this may have seen it and just thought, like I had a kid in my DMs asking me for one-on-one mentorship. And I'm like, dude, honestly, I don't have the time. Like I would have to charge you so much money. I don't have the time. I was like, just join IPO. He's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, because it's this, that. I'm like, dude, that's just the name. Like we're teaching you how to write copy, how to write VSLs, how to write sales assets, how to build sales teams, how to manage the systems and everything. And they oversee that. So that's why I ask. What has been like your go-to deal structure for clients? Are you doing like a setup fee and then a percentage of growth, or are you trying to do more growth, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's client dependent, obviously, on what they need. Like I've worked with people where it's no build up fee up front, just because like, admittedly, I knew I was going to make money with them. They were already making a lot. Those are obviously easier to close when it's like nothing up front. I only get paid if you get paid, kind of thing. But more times than not, it is pretty risky to step into a business that's like making 50K a month, or stagnating, and I'm only going to get paid above 50K a month. It works for sure. Sometimes there are businesses that are in shambles that like you can 2x them or 3x them in a couple of months, but I've had a couple of those that didn't go super well. So usually what I do is net new revenue. So anything you're making right now, whether people paying off payment plans or they're in a subscription or whatever, they've been around before I showed up. Like I'm not responsible for any of that. I don't get paid for it. Anything net new that we bring into that, we take a percentage of that. And then depending on like the scope of what we build out up front, the build out fee will reflect that. So if it's like a really big build out fee, it'll be a smaller percentage. If it's a smaller build out fee, it'll normally be a bigger percentage. Yeah, it's typically how we go. Or it'll be, I come in, set everything up, and then for like 30 to 90 days, we're there to kind of manage everything and hand it off to you. And then you can make the decision for yourself if you want us to stick around or not.
I like those offers a lot.
Percentage.
Yeah, so the net new thing is a great idea. So what's been your biggest setup fee?
7,500, I believe. Or maybe
so you basically paid for IPO with a deal.
I paid for it in like the first month, bro.
That's sick.
I mean, maybe 2 months, but yeah, I closed that first client, and then shortly afterwards, I think you posted like a testimonial of it. That got me so many like DMs. It was hilarious. But it was like I had like 13K in like 3 days and like 2 build outs.
Wow,
it was great. So
that's crazy.
We recuperated pretty quickly.
I mean that's what you want to see, bro. Like on our end from like a coaching program, it's like the dream for everybody, What sort of things do you feel like are very important for people that are, because I literally have seen tweets today that are like, oh, growth operator, that like, I think that space is becoming very like parasitic and very, there's a word, I can't think of it. It's when you basically eat yourself alive, like as a space, like crypto, Solana did that to itself, right? Like the chain just destroyed itself. And I think that's happening right now, looking at the market from the outside in. Like, what do you think that people thinking about doing, not the word IPO, but like this sort of model where you're coming in, you're basically like a consultant, right? But you're actually doing things for people. It's different than an agency. It's different than growth operating. So we got to find a new name. But like, what do you think these people need to understand, like coming and maybe their beliefs that are wrong getting into this?
It's not a beginner business model. Like
not at all.
If I didn't do sales before and like manage teams and at least like tinker with different systems and stuff, I would not have done anything that, like if I just joined IPO fresh, I wouldn't have done any of this. So it doesn't need to be sales, but like at least having like a year of copywriting experience to understand how like info works, or maybe you do media buying or whatever, just like understand info and like that ecosystem and how the businesses are set up and how they work. Give you some context, but you don't need to ascribe a label to it. Just like, you can start with one thing. You don't need to go broad right off the bat. You can just be the sales guy. You can just be the marketing guy if you want. But it's just like, understanding like what levers you can pull to grow any given business. I don't know if that's a good answer, but
no, that's a great answer. I think that's where we're going to head direction wise too with you guys is go more broad, like not teach a business model, but teach the skills.
Yes, the skills.
Like the same. Like I can't pull it up right now, but like I'm obviously building a AI startup now, and do you know how we're going to get customers? DSL. It's the same thing that I did for info, and we've taught you guys. And now with AI, like, have you played with the Claude prompts that we've like had in the course and everything?
Yeah. I haven't used Kendo yet. I want to, but
dude, it's nuts.
I use Claude.
Yeah, like, and that's a big thing too. Well, I guess that'll be like the last question, and then kind of your opinion on things is AI obviously is a big buzzword right now. Like I've spent the last 5 months trying to learn as much as I can about it. But a lot of people have no clue still. What parts of your business are you currently just automating or taking care of with AI?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like everything, like automation wise, like everything's automated. And I'm now starting to like build my own internal team. Like I just hired a developer to help me with builds and that kind of thing. So I'm not stuck at 7 clients. So like all of like my own like project management and like internal stuff that I use, all AI. I have cold email systems going out that like optimize based on open rates, and there's a ton of shit built into that. And then obviously I have that plugged in for the majority of my clients as well. So it's like, yeah, either you learn and adapt, or like you just get smoked and don't learn it. Like there's so much where like you can have great skills, but if you can stack that on top of like working smarter, not harder, it's just the smarter way to go.
I absolutely agree. I think writing copy, all of it should be done with AI, and then you just touch it up. I think even the whole agent thing that's coming now. Are you using, what's the software where you can basically, it's like Zapier for automating AI tasks between different platforms? Have you started using that yet?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Like stuff anyway, stuff like that. Like for example, you can have an intake form get screened by GPT to do whatever you want with it, and then send that GPT, like that text, to another software, and then send that to another software to then do an action. Kind of like you would snap like a form to an Airtable, to a sheet, to a whatever else, to your Slack.
You can still use that with Zapier. We have that for like a couple different sales teams where just like, for example, it takes like the Fathom transcript from like your closing call, and then we have a GPT that summarizes it in Zapier as a step, and then it'll send it to like client success team to see what objections are, what expectations are, whatever. Sales team to give them feedback loop, marketing to give them objections. Like there's one Zap that just like fucking feeds the entire company. So I don't know what software you're talking about, but you can still build that kind of stuff in like Zapier, Make, whatever.
Yeah, that's super smart. I guess we're at 17 minutes. We don't go too long. As far as, I guess we use the word IPO for I'm going to rename it. I've already decided we're going to rename it. But as far as that goes, we're opening it back up. Like I told you guys, we're going to take on some more people, do another cohort. What would you say to people that are going to watch this? And again, it's not a beginner business model. If you're a beginner, we will tell you kindly, like, don't do this.
Save your money.
But if this is somebody's like next step, and they're like, oh, I want to do this, like, what would you tell that person? Not really about the model, because again, we want to teach the skills, but about working with us and what your experience has been.
Yeah, it's been solid, man. Like I would never have learned any of it, a lot of it, without like you or Luke. There's only so much that I can get from YouTube videos and whatever. I'm super pro like invest in yourself, so it wasn't a difficult decision for me. Like I didn't really have the money when I bought it, but it's just like if you're a sales rep or a copywriter or whatever, and especially if you've been doing it for a couple of years, you probably have so many foundational skills you're not even aware of. That can help you make 5 times as much money as you are right now. Obviously, it doesn't just happen like that. There's a lot of work that comes with it, but you got to take that step at some point. Like if you're fine with being a sales rep the rest of your life, that's fine. But like finding those offers that are 30, 40, 50K a month OT, they're hard. Like they're super difficult. So you might as well take what you have now, give yourself more skills to learn anyway, and apply it somewhere where you can make 2, 3, 5, 10 times more money, you know?
I absolutely agree. I mean, that's why you're successful, bros. Like you literally just said it. You're like, oh, I got to invest in myself. That's the difference between everyone that I've seen make it and not make it. You know, what's next for you? Like, obviously you're going to scale this thing up, but do you have any big plans on like the near horizon of how this will evolve for you?
Yeah, I definitely want to build up the developer that I just brought in. That'll help a lot with delivery, so I can get 10 build-outs in a week and know that I'll be able to deliver. And I want to transition more to, again, like I said, enterprise B2B. I worked with like a healthcare company that served a lot of those businesses. And like at the time, I didn't realize how much money there was, but that really opened my eyes to seeing that like info in the grand scheme of things is such a small space. There's so many like more traditional businesses or whatever that literally have funding for people like us. So you might as well solve the same problems for bigger businesses with more money. Your skill set applied in info that's like so fast paced, and you need to have all these different things just to stay alive, are like groundbreaking for them most of the time. So
absolutely agree.
Yeah,
that's what we're seeing the same thing, building this. Like we're going full enterprise with this. We might actually do a seed round and raise. And I've been talking to a bunch, like I have these mentors that are, I hate the word mentor even because of info, but I have these mentors that they had, I can't say too much, but they had a Peter Thiel backed giant company and they sold it, and now they're building another company. And so I was just texting him like an hour ago, and their thought process compared to what we hear and learn in the info space and online business is just so different. But also, you and I and people like us have skills that these people dream of having, and they're overpaying bloated giant salaries for people that are like a fraction of the competency of us. So I think that is I think it's a massive, massive, massive area that people should be looking at. That's a good point.
If you want to make a few $100,000 a year or whatever, like info can do that 100%. But I know you're the same way. I want like a lot of money. Yeah. So it's probably not going to happen in info. It could, but I think you might as well fight the same sort of battle and get paid 10 times more for going the more like traditional route. And if you want to open your own business, or we could start investing in other businesses or whatever, like you're not necessarily going to have everything you need if you just work in info. But great place to build a foundation and learn. And yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I did.
Fully agree. Well, Max, thank you for coming on. If anybody wants to work with you or reach out to you or ask you questions, where do they hit you at?
I can go to my website, mjbgrowth.com, Instagram's mbates, 2 S's, LinkedIn, Max Bates, Twitter, Max Bates, whatever you want.
Awesome. Well, let's keep working, bro. And thank you for doing the interview.
Appreciate it, bro.